the Miller Coors Urban Entrepreneur Series.
I'm Raquel Robinson, and I'd like to welcome you to the Muse Business Plan Essentials webinar. Today, we will be focusing on the purpose of the business plan, the executive summary, and products and services. I'm joined today by a distinguished panel of guests who will share their expertise and experience and help us understand the importance of the business plan. Our panelists today include Juan Solana, Chief Economist for Hispanic Business Magazine, Alfred Edmonds, Senior Vice President and Editor-at-Large at Black Enterprise Magazine, and Asada Peterson, an attorney with the Shellis Law Firm. So why is the business plan so important?
Well, Raquel, a good business plan really does two things. One, it serves as kind of an internal playbook for the entrepreneur so that they understand who they're serving, what they do, and how they make money doing it. The second thing is to really have a document from which to build communications to outside stakeholders, potential investors, customers, potential employees, and potential partners, so they understand what the benefit of that business is to the marketplace.
Business plans are important for a couple of reasons. Some entrepreneurs use them for financing. So if they're going to a bank, if they're going to angel investors, friends, family, whoever they're seeking financing from, it could be the SBA. They're a guide to show investors what you're doing, how you plan to do it, what you need to do it, and ultimately how you plan to get a return on that investment. Another reason business plans are important, it can serve as a guide for entrepreneurs to operate their business. Whether they're expanding a product line, if they're adding new services, it can really help them build upon what they're already doing. And depending upon what the business plan is being used for, plan should be tailored to the audience. So a business plan for an investor for the SBA may be very different from that of an angel investor. Same thing as if you're using the business plan for internal purposes, you may not need to be as in-depth in your analysis or in your presentation of your company, because internally you would know that. So depending upon what you're using it for would really shape how you form your plan.
There are several components of a business plan. Let's talk a little bit about the executive summary.
Yes, the executive summary is very, very important because it gets the attention of the reader. And in the executive summary, what should be there is how the company is going to create value, how it's going to deliver that value, and how it's going to capture the value that it's creating. Just in one page, and that will be excellent in order for the judges to read and to be more interested in looking to the other portions of the plan and to increase the expectation of what is going to come.
Can you explain the financial objectives?
Yes, what we have said before, the business plan, one of the objectives is to capture value. In addition to create value and to deliver, is to capture the value that is creating. We have seen many businesses nowadays, especially in internet and new media and new businesses, that they create value, but the key challenge is how do they capture that value. And that's what we look in the financials. We can have a very good model of how to create value for customers, how do they deliver the value, but if the value is not captured, there is not a business model that is sustainable, and the financial is the bedrock for that.
What information should be in the business startup summary?
Well, one of the most important components of a business startup summary is that this is where the person viewing the plan should really get a real snapshot of your financial projections, but most importantly, it should get right away, how do we make money? It should really summarize very quickly, again, how do you capture value? How do you make money? Given the financials, when is that money going to be captured with regard to break even? And so this is where you really make the case for why the business is viable.
Yes, it's basically what is the timeline of the project, of the business, when the project is going to break even, when it's going to have profitability, how many years they have before they reach that point. Also, cash flows, constraints that they may have are very important that are in that summary, especially for a startup.
Company ownership is a part of the executive summary. What type of information is that?
Sure. In an executive summary, the company ownership information should be very brief. It should identify who has a stake in the company, whether you have partners, whether it is an LLC, a C Corp, an S Corp. It should just give a brief overview of what the structure is of the company.
And talk about the business location.
The company location is important to let your reader know where the company is based. It is also important if, depending on the kind of company, if it's a retail company, location may be extremely important to your company. If it's a website or internet-based company, it may not be as important, but everyone needs to know where your company is based.
We've talked a little bit about the executive summary. Let's shift gears and talk about products and services. What role does this play in the business plan writing process?
Products and services are really key in a business plan. They really define what the company is doing. If it is a product, explain the product as thoroughly as possible. If it's a service, the services should be thoroughly explained. Business plan writers should never take for granted that their audience knows what their product or what their service is. Even if it is something that has been on the market for a long time, you want to understand what exactly this particular company is doing that is different, that is unique, or that may be the same. We don't know, but the more you explain, the better you explain, the better the reader has of what exactly it is you're doing.
Thank you very much for joining us for the Muse Business Plan webinar series, part 1 of 3. Be sure to apply for the business plan competition this year. Thank you to all of our panelists for today. I'm Raquel Robinson.
The Miller Coors Urban Entrepreneur Series. Your life, your time, your business. What are you waiting for?